Now that is just disturbing. Oh no. No, no. This like no. Is it just me? Or are these kids getting more and more disturbing? Hello and welcome to Medieval Dynasty. Well, we're now coming towards the end of summer. So I was thinking, well, we've done pretty much all there is to do except actually grow our own fruit. So the plan is to actually start putting an orchard down this side, I think. I'll put another one up there. I mean, nothing too big. But I want to be able to start producing like cherries, for example, for the pies. And I think there's also things like you can get apples and pears and all sorts. But let me just start over here. So we don't grow a field, we actually plant an orchard. So I'm trying to remember what the size was, because I was having a bit of a play around over here because I've got to clear the area out. And it's not like the fields where you plant things and then you harvest them 1 or 2 seasons later. These take a long time to grow because you're growing the trees. You're putting down just a seedling, and then what you've got to do is just basically wait quite a while. But I think if we start, maybe we start, say there, because I think I could get it to about. No, it's not going to work there. I'm trying to get it to about 5 by 5 roughly. So if we go back to farming orchard, so I'll try lining it up with a house this time. Now, one thing to notice is this is not, it's not quite like the fields, it seems. Or is it? I'm trying to see. Yeah, it is. It's still running on a north by south grid. Right, so if I can come out to 5, and then 5 down in this direction. I mean, it's going to take out some berries, which is a pity, but there's nobody over here actually harvesting them anyway, to be fair. So that gives me a 5 by 5 orchard. Now, if I go over to management, we now actually have an actual orchard. The only drawback is there's nobody to do anything. Because if I go to the ordinary fields where we have grains, for example, you can see I can tell it what to plant, for example. So I can pick different types of grains, and the NPCs will start to, they'll look after the actual field, and they'll put the fertiliser in, they'll put the seeds in. But I'm not getting that with the orchard, which is interesting. It's just a case of, well, get on with it yourself. So I think I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to find my own hoe and then basically start looking after that orchard myself by the looks of it. So I want to do something similar over here. So I'm going to grow, I think I'll do cherries down that end and maybe a mixture up at this end. Oops. So go back for another orchard again. Try and line that up with here. So see if I can fit a 5 by 5 over here. I'm not specifically just going for, for that size for a certain reason. It's just because it's a nice round number. So we're going to have to get ourselves a hoe. And then we're going to have to basically grub that. Then we're going to have to put the fertiliser down. And then we're going to have to see what kind of actual seedlings we've got, as well as what we can actually plant. Oh, just out of curiosity, have a look in the bag. I'm going to grab one of these bags, because the process is the same. Comes under tools, so I'll put that in the slot here. I'm just curious to see what the seasons are like. So orchard wise, doesn't seem to matter, whereas field wise it does. So as you can see, we're into summer now. So we can plant cabbages. Now the orchards, no, they're not fussed, it seems. But like I say, they're not the same as a normal field in that you grow the actual tree, and it's just going to start growing, and you've got to wait quite a while before they actually produce any fruit. And one thing I noticed is I didn't get any seeds back, which was interesting. So, I mean, it's not that big of a deal because you just grow them and it's a one-off thing. Whereas with like grains and what have you, you plant them in the field, you then harvest them and you'll get your seeds back plus some more, plus the actual crop. So, anyway, I'm going to have to do as much grubbing as I possibly can in the very short space of time that I've got available, because then we're going to go into autumn. I'm going to have to put all the fertiliser in myself. I'll have to put in the actual seedlings. And actually, what kind of seedlings do we have? Because I don't think I've got any cherry. Where's I have? I've got 3 cherry seedlings. Oh, that's not too bad then. If we look at, yeah, we need hops, because if you want to make some of the types of beers, you need hops. We've got some plums we could do, and that's about it. Now, they're going for about 160, so I suspect if I went to buy those, they'll be about 320, because I think I get about half price or something. So they're not exactly cheap, but to be fair, we've got a lot of money. I mean, I'm on to about getting towards 13,000 that the vendors have been building up, and I've got about 32,000. So yeah, money's not a problem at this stage. So I think I'm going to have to deal with my grumbling stomach and then get on with making these orchards. Now this is interesting, I must admit. It didn't take me that long to actually grub the fields, but you don't actually have to put any fertiliser down. So they are different to, just doing the grains, for example, and the vegetables. So on a field, you've got an option for fertiliser, and if I pick that, it's asking I want a bag with seeds in it. So I thought, okay, fair enough. So if we flip back to the orchard option, there is no option for fertiliser, so they don't actually ask for any. So, okay, so in which case we just actually plant the actual seedling in the ground. They don't need the actual fertiliser. So that's going to get me, I've got quite a few of these actually. These are the plum ones. So I'm doing 5 by 5, so I should have been able to plant 5 of them. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's not bad. So if we go back into management, you can see now that that's what this column down here is for. So these are the sort of like the grains, and the grains along there by the looks of it, and the vegetables. Then we've got the actual fruit. So far I've managed to get 3 cherries because I had some cherry seedlings. And I've now just put down our 5 plums. So let's see. So what can we grow? We can get. Well, I definitely want the cherries. As I say, the plan is to do goes down there. I mean, the original plan was just to do cherries, but I think I might just split between the 2 fields, a mixture of all of them, because there's not that many types to do by the looks of it. There's a nice round number of 5. Okay, so I could do it that way. Maybe do like a mixture of like one column, one per column, one different type per column. That might be interesting. Mix it up a bit. But most of these, I mean, like these ones you use that for the types of beer. Then these are mostly going to be used for the wines. But because you got fruit, you can still use them all for the different types of pies. I mean, up to now I've just been making meat pies because I don't have any like cherries, and they're not bad, I must admit. I mean, that's given me 85 food just from a single pie. There's not that much goes into making them. But if I can get a lot of them made, I can sell them. Although to be fair, I'm making a lot of money anyway. So I'm going to need a lot more seedlings because they're kind of like a one-off. They don't regrow. You harvest the actual tree, but you don't get anything back for it other than the actual fruit itself. So we swap over to start planting. I don't have enough of anything else really. If we come back to that, we start growing, say, the hops down this side. You can see it's getting dark already. Oh, nope, didn't plant that one. Oh, wow. Oh, cool. I like that. And then that'll... I can't get past it. That'll get me... Yes, that gets me 3 hops so far. So I've got about 3 cherries down there, 5 plums. So should be able to put some more plums down. I'll sell the others off. But I'm going to have to wait till autumn because I'm going to have to go and find a vendor who's going to be able to sell me these other seedlings. Right, so that's the cherries down there. So if I get... Doesn't really matter, to be honest, about the order. Hello? Has that gone into 3? Oh, no, it hasn't. It looks a bit strange because, like, the gaps... I was expecting it to be about down there. Anyway, so I've got enough to get enough for the plums. Oh, I wonder if we can make plum pies. That's what I'm more interested in, to be honest. We can have a lot of wine and we can have a lot of fruit pies. Right, so just out of curiosity, if I go to technology, so if I go back to production, over to the tavern, and we'll see what we got. So there's... Oh yes, we can get plum tarts, cherry pies. So the plums, the pears are going to be tarts. Now the fruit tart... So that's a berry one. So fruit is berry. Okay, so we can get pear and plum tarts and cherry pies. Oh, foobarrows. You can't get an apple tart or an apple pie. Oh, that's just no good whatsoever. Oh, boo-hoo, boo. Right, it's getting late now. So I'm going to go to sleep and then I think we're going to have a bit of a wander because we'll do that in the autumn. Because it doesn't really matter, you know, what the season is, it seems. It doesn't specifically say, you know, you can only grow them in a certain season. We'll only be able to harvest them once the trees are actually fully grown, but and start producing fruit. But what we'll have to start doing then is going down to Gostovia and Rolnica, because there's 2 farmers there. Yeah, there's 2 farmers there that should be able to start selling us the seedlings. Be interesting to see how many, but as long as I get a reasonable mixture, then we can start thinking about our pies, our tarts, and our wines, and our beers even. Woohoo! Oh, oh no. Oh no 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 no. No 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 no. This is bad. This is like really bad. No. So I went to sleep and it's like, no. War taxes. Apparently we're preparing for war. Ooh, wow. Wowzers. So eek. So the options are basically would have been, well, you either pay them, option 1, you refuse to pay, option 3, and then you'll probably get into a bad reputation with the king. Option 2 is if you've got the money, and I do have quite a bit of money, and they're asking for 3,000 to help. Oh, I see, right. So this is actually increasing taxes. Ah, okay. So it wasn't like they're raising a war tax, they're increasing the taxes to prepare for war, right? Okay, so that makes sense. So yeah, you either accept it, refuse it, pay some money to try and as a one-off to avoid that, or you can try and get a pardon. Now, obviously, for option 2, you need the money, and I do have quite a bit. Option 4 is if you've got the diplomacy, so it's worth trying because I've got level 8 in diplomacy. You need at least level 7. So I'm going to try option 4. So I'm going to see if I can talk my way out of this. Oh, jeez Louise, they've gone up by 15%. Ouchie. Ah, c'est la vie. Right then. So it's Start of a new season. So I'm going to have a look and see what our building status is, because we've now got a builder, so I can get him to do the work. So that takes some of the pressures off me. I mean, I don't have to do that every day now. Right, so that's that done. So I'm going to have a look and see if anybody's back into the workforce yet. So you can see we've got a few... oh, Bolomira's pregnant again. Jeez Louise. That's the thing, is the NPCs, they can have 2 children. There's enough like capacity in the houses for 2 children, but you only have 1 for whatever reason. Ooh, so Lamberta's back. Okay, so I'll have to find out what she was doing before. Ooh, Narodka's back. Now, if memory serves, Narodka used to be the original water carrier. Oh, our little one is now 10, crikey. So let's see. Narodka. Yes, she wasn't around for that long because she oh, Fubar. I'll have to find out where they live now, because I'm a bit puzzled. Because where they live will give me an idea as to what job they were doing, because I can't quite tell. All the rest of them, their actual skills are in green, so they've been doing a lot and they've been, been getting better in that specific skill, but I can't quite tell. So she was either working in the farming. I'm pretty sure she was an animal breeder before. I'm pretty sure I switched her over to that now. Yeah, that kind of makes it with Narodka, but tell you what, it'd be easy if I head back. Actually, the other one was Lamberta. Now, what is she? Let's have a look and see who she's, because I can sometimes tell her from the person they're with. Ah, right, so Walbert's, right, okay, so if I go and look on the map, so she's right up there, so she was a miner, right, because all 3 women went back to, basically all 3 women I hired for the mines quickly got pregnant. So I've already put one of them back, but I'll put the other one in there. So that, yes, that was Lorelei, or Lorelei. So that boosts my mining capacity now. So go and have a look at the mines. They're starting to do better. You can see, so the three guys who were in there, they've been in there longer, for about 2 years longer. So they're up to level 4. Lorelei only went back just recently. Lamberta's only now just gone back. I'm gonna have to find out what Narodka does. She looks after some animals. I'm not sure which. But the good thing about that is then I'll be able to. I should be actually, which. Pretty sure she's on this side. On this side down here. Right, so she is, yeah, so she's down there. So the good thing about that is I'll be able to put her back to doing what she was doing before. It'll free up one of the other farmers, because I sent my 3 of my original farmers over to here to look after the actual animals, because what I was finding was that I could still feed the animals, but I couldn't get any of the produce. So the pigs, for example, I was feeding the pigs, but I couldn't get their manure. So there is a little sack, a bag there, but I couldn't get anything from it. So that was a bit of a shock with the system, because it meant I had no manure for a long, long time. I don't think she looks after them. So these are the little pigs. So if I go into the pigsty, you've got like a trough to feed them, and then you've got a sack. But there was nothing in there. That had me really puzzled, I must admit, because I couldn't find a way to get any manure from them. Right, so who lives here? So Bird is looking after the pigs. In which case is Narodka looking after the hens or the chickens? That's part of the reason why I've got that everybody in a nice structurally ordered. I know who does what now. So Huberta, okay, so it could be, maybe she looks after the Ah, I wonder if it's... Well, it's either the cows or the sheep. Put it out that way. The sheep's the sheep. Yeah, so Naradka looks after the cows. In which case, that'll free up... Yeah, that'll free up Damriga. Right, so I can put Damriga back into the fields. If we go back to the barn. So at the moment there's only one person there, so I'm going to put Damriga back over here. We'll leave her in the barn for now. And while I'm getting trampled by cows, I'll put Naradka back here. There you go. Oh, let me out! Let me out! Shut the gate. For you. Right, so everybody's getting up. Even the sheep or the lambs and the... Wow, the goats have grown up really quick. I only just bought those. Good grief. You've grown up quickly. We've got a lot of sheep. Jeez Louise, that's a lot of sheep. How many sheep have I got now? I bought a few. Alrighty, Governor. I've got 9 sheep already. Right, well I tell you what, I'm going to sell some of these off. I don't need that many because I wanted a mixture of goats and sheep. Sell that one as well. I think that's one I just recently bought actually. Because we've got a lot of lambs. But we've only got 2 goats because I wanted to keep like 4 goats. And the rest sheep. So let's have a look and see how many sheep can we have in a fold. I think there was capacity for 12. Yes, that gives me about 8 sheep and 4 goats. That was the plan because I can get milk off the goats. This is cool. That must be fun being these two because they keep coming around to talk to each other. And they get to play with the goats and the sheep. Anyway. We need to head down to Gostovia and Rolnica. Where's the horse gone? Ooh, don't trample anybody. Careful where you're going. I don't care. So, yeah, there's two farmers now. They sell the grains, they sell the vegetables, but they'll also sell the actual tree seedlings as well. I mean, I've got a bit of an excess of the plums, so I can probably sell some of those and get some of the money back. It'll be interesting to see how much these cost, because I remember they're pretty pricey. I think I remember seeing some of them probably about over 500 coins. Although I've got the skill for bartering, which drops the actual prices. I've also got the skill, I think, to lower the cost of taxation each year, which is probably just as well since that event just popped up. Right, so somewhere around here should be Edwin. Possibly. There he is. Right, let's just see what you've got. Because I want about 10 of each. I don't think you'll have enough. How have you been? Fine, thanks.
I've been a vendor since before you could walk.
Good to know. Right, so apple trees. So, wow. Wowzers. So that's 2,160 for the apples. I'm going to need 7 of these. We go for... Can't remember how many hops. I think it was about... I want to find out how many hops did I plant. Just 3 maybe? Right, so I need another 7.
You have returned.
Yep, I didn't really leave, to be
Only
fair.
goods of the highest quality.
Good to know. Right, so I want half of them. What else have you got? I've already got the pears. Actually, speaking of pears, I'll sell mine off. Oh, no, it's the plums, wasn't it? Right, so if we get the pear seedlings... Oh, we don't have enough. Okay, so I will have to go over to To the other place to get some. They're the only ones I'm seeing. Right, looks like we're going to have to go to Rolniger then to get more pears. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think that's pretty much. Yeah, we've got the pears. We'd already planted the plums. Okay.
Take care.
Yeah, thanks, you too. So, now we're going to have to wing it all the way over to Rolniger. I think I may as well still pick up the quests while I'm here, just out of curiosity to see if there's anything of interest. Because, I mean, I don't specifically need any of those ones for, like, technology points. For things like production technology, that's maxed out now. I mean, you can still keep getting more, but you don't get anything for it. Building technology... I mean, I suppose there is a survival technology. Farming technology is done as well, so unless something comes up specifically for survival technology, there's not much to it. Right, things to do. Well, I managed to get all of those seedlings planted, so we're now over in Rolniger. Because I need to see if Nadar here has got some of those ones we need. So I'm just going to check. Because I think it was the pear ones I needed. Yes, I need 2 pear ones.
Greetings.
Hello indeed.
Let me show you my wares.
Not sounding so enthusiastic. Right, so I need 2 pears, so they're 240 each. Thank you very much.
It was nice seeing you.
Doesn't sound like it. So, right, we're going to head back. We're going to plant our little seedlings, but I must admit, I'm scratching my head wondering what else I can do. I mean, I must admit, I don't have any donkeys. We could probably do with some donkeys. Yeah, I know. We could probably do with some donkeys, but other than that, I mean, it's just basically upgrading things. I mean, we can do slight upgrades of the resource storage, for example. I think there's one barn, not a barn, a food storage we could upgrade as well. So I suppose there's that. But I'm not really sure what else we can do. I mean, one thing I'm scratching my head over, I must admit, is Ulrich, because when I did the story quests, you had up to 18 years to finish them off, which makes me wonder, does the game end after 18 years, or does it end when Ulrich reaches 18? I'm curious to find out. So I'm going to go back, plant these 2 seedlings, assuming I can set my direction, find out where the heck I'm going. And then I'm going to have a bit of a think about what to do, because there's probably about 8 years before he reaches 18. That's like a long time. I mean, we've got 3 days in a season. So yeah, that could take a while. Right. We'll get this done. Then we'll have a bit of a think. Well, believe it or not, a long time has actually now passed in this game. And it's a case of, yeah, I'm not quite sure what to do now, to be honest. Because I was expecting some sort of like fanfare, some sort of announcement, something to like suggest something wonderful and miraculous had happened, but no. I mean, I got up this morning, I mean, it's winter time, and I went over to Gostovia because I just needed a bit more wheat to fulfill this quest for the Herald. And I was on my way back that it was a case of, that's interesting to know. Ulrich is now 18, and it's the first time I've noticed, because I've been trying every so often to sort of like assign him to jobs, and up to now I haven't been able to. But now that he's 18, I can. So there you go. So that's interesting. I mean, I thought maybe there was like an end point to the game, maybe it would actually finish once he turned 18, because if you think about it, Rasimir, he actually arrived here in the valley when he was 18. I mean, we're into year 20, I think where I last left off. It was year 13. I mean, a lot of time has passed within the game, and literally for me, it's been ages since I did that last part of the video. But yeah, it's remarkable that, I must admit. If I go back to, let's see, go to management. If we go to us, I don't think we can manage ourselves, but I'm trying to find somewhere where actually. Oh, there you go. See, so Rasimir is now 37. That's how long we've been at this game. It's like, geez, Louise, that's 19 years. And as I say, Ulrich is now 18. He's probably sitting out here. At least I would assume he would. That's where they normally go. They tend to like hang around there. Oh, there he is. There. Jeez Louise. He's a lot bigger. I can tell you that. He looks a lot bigger now.
How is life treating you?
Absolutely wonderful. So what's on your mind lately? Oh, okay, fair enough. So, fair enough. It's kind of odd because when I was doing quests for him, he wanted to do hunting, and I was just saying he doesn't want to do that sort of thing. Okay. Ooh, field work. Walkers like you have an eye for fishing off mushrooms. Okay, fair enough.
See you soon.
It's just weird that it's just so long in the game. You know, so much time has since passed. But yeah, I mean, I realised at a certain point it was just going to take forever. So what I've been doing actually is I ended up altering the game settings, which is something that devs introduced, and I'm really grateful that they did. Because I've been running for quite a while now, where there's only one day in the entire season. And it does speed things up, but I really wouldn't recommend it for like the normal gameplay, because like I've got farmers out here, for example, and it's a kid. Hello. I think I've got somebody's learning to be a conductor. But, yeah, I mean the farmers that either don't get all the crops sown in time, or they don't get all the crops harvested in time, and so on. So yeah, running with only one day in a season's really bad, I must admit. I mean, there's a few times I've had to go out and actually I have had to buy crops to be able to, you know, grains and so on to cover for the loss, so that you can just kind of keep going on. But I think that was realistically the only way I could do this, because it was just taking absolutely forever to get the game done. And it got to the point where, I mean, what I've been doing, there's quite a lot of them must have, and I have done. I did eventually get my donkeys, so we've now got a stable over there, which is this is my donkey sanctuary over here, and that's maxed out. Last time I checked, that was maxed out. So I've got my own set of donkeys, and I'm still breeding horses. What I've also been doing, I've added a tavern in over here, and that seems to cheer people a bit. So I've managed to get a house built as well. So that was so I could hire somebody for the tavern and somebody to look after the actual donkeys. Now up here in the mining area, I also built a tavern up there, and I couldn't quite think of anything else to do in that region at the time. So at the moment, there's just one person living up there who's doing the tavern, but probably could do with hiring somebody else to do some other job. Maybe like a hunter or a lumberjack or something. But I did eventually get round to building up a palisade around the main village over there. So that area is now completely covered up. Actually, I'll just grab the horse. So that area is just surrounded. I mean, to be fair, I mean, if somebody did want to attack, they'd just walk in like the door anyway. It's completely open. I mean, it's not as if like, you know, you're really trying to stop anybody. I mean, yeah, they can't like shut a door and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, you can't get in. No, they'll just walk in. I mean, to be honest, usually what people would do is they would just lob a bunch of like fire arrows in and just set fire to the place anyway. So, you know, just out of sheer spite. But yeah, I mean, it took ages to get that done. I mean, apart from trying to lining it up, that took forever. And the amount of trees I've had to chop down over time's just been crazy. But it means that this whole place is now surrounded. It doesn't stop the kids wandering around. I've had kids, you know, just like 2 or 3, even less maybe, just literally wandering around at like midnight or something. Just casually going outside the village, wandering off somewhere, and you think, but you should be in bed. And it's, no, I'm just going to wander around, I don't care. I can't remember who it was one of them. He lived here. And it was just getting on towards midnight. He was just casually wandering down the street, not a care in the world. He'd been out there, and then he just started wandering down there, and I'm thinking, this is just nuts. But it is quite amusing watching them. I'll say that for certain. So, yeah, I mean, the children just tend to hang around the fires during the day, I've noticed. But I've been putting up things like more lamps for the lighting at night. And then I've been basically trying to upgrade these houses. I haven't completely finished all of it. I mean, bear in mind, as I said, it's only been like one day in an entire season. So I would have probably ended up with all of that limestone if I just carried on as normal. But this is about as far as I got to this building. So there's still some more buildings over here to do. Well, there's somebody just down there. I nearly trampled on somebody. So there's still a couple of houses over here to do, I must admit. Then there's all the other ones in this part of the village over here, and all the ones over in that part over there. But yeah, I mean, I must admit, it's definitely an interesting game, I'll give it that. I mean, a lot of these people have had children now, usually like more than one. I mean, Agnes, who's a herbalist, she's now just had her second child. I mean, the first one was 8. Well, is 8 now, and she's just had another one. So I don't have a herbalist at the minute, but slowly a lot of them are coming back. Because they've all had like 2 children already. So, you know, there's Alberta, for example, one's 9, one's 6. So they're all slowly starting to come back. And that's where I'll get to, but then it's a case of, oh, rats, now what am I going to do? Because I've got all of these kids who are growing up. I mean, they're starting to hit teenagers, because Ulrich, obviously, he was our first one. And then after a while, I started letting these lot have their own children. So there's, you know, some... I think about 10, for example. Oh, Wintermere is 12. Okay, so it's not going to be long. But it's a case of, geez Louise, I will have to start thinking about what to do with these kids once they're fully grown. I'll have to find them jobs. And I think at that point, you'll probably start thinking, well, maybe I'll just build them a completely new village or something somewhere else. And let them sort of like do that. Because I don't feel like knocking the walls down here and rebuilding it and expanding it out. Because, I mean, I've got all the jobs covered. And it'll only get like bigger, so yeah, I mean that's possibilities. But I'm just absolutely amazed that I was expecting something, you know, where it'd be a case of we'd get some sort of announcement, because that 18 seemed to be a key point, a turning point. I thought, because it's all about dynasty, you know, building up a dynasty, and then that would be it. You'd have a you've got an heir now, so somebody to take over, because he's now 18, the same age as we were when we left, when we were forced out. He hasn't had that issue, but it's a case of, yeah, I would have thought it'd be a case of, right, that's it, you've achieved your dynasty, because that was the whole idea. It's like, if you ever die, your dynasty carries on. You've got somebody to cover for you, basically, because your lineage carries on afterwards. But no, hasn't been anything, nothing at all. So I was quite shocked by that. So it means it's like it seems to be an open-ended game in that respect. They haven't put an actual end point on it all. At least none that I can tell, anyway. So I'm going to try something just out of curiosity. Hold on, what was that furry thing? Oh, it was a moose. I'm just out of curiosity. I'm going to find out what happens if I get beaten up. Now that we've hit and he's 18, what happens now? Come on, you can do better than that. Because normally, up to this point, if I die, that's it. It's the end of the dynasty. There you go. So there you go. So, because we've actually got the dynasty, we do have an actual heir. So, interestingly, because I've now died, I can now carry on as Ulrich. So that's an opportunity I could have done. So he's got all of these skills all to put in, because he's just 18. So he's starting out the same as we would have done. It's interesting. So there's an opportunity. Yeah. So this time round we'd become Ulrich. So yep. I must admit, I've really enjoyed this game. There's still an open road map, there's still other things they're going to be introducing somewhere down the line. There's been talk of like windmills, for example, and so on. But I think that's probably going to be it for me for Season 2. I think I'll probably, if I'm going to pick this game up again, probably start a new season. But yeah, I could have just picked it up and done it as Elric. Definitely been an interesting game though. Definitely enjoyed it. Definitely recommend it.